It's approaching the supreme moment. Reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead.
What's good? Welcome back to another session. I know in the last couple of videos I didn't provide any commentary. Unfortunately, work takes priority sometimes, so I meant to, upload stuff when I can, but sometimes, I don't have the time to provide commentary, so apologies about that. But let's go ahead and cover these guys. It's going to be basically two of the new units combined into one video because they do kind of synchronize with each other. So yeah, the first one is going to be the GT Perfect Form Cell, and the other one is the Extreme Physical Type GT Final Form Frieza. The reason why this is kind of combined into one is because they actually do work well as a team, and ideally you do want them on separate rotations, like alternating to where their passives will benefit each other, and I'll cover that here in a second. But for this video's purpose, they're pretty much on the same exact rotation. That way you'll be able to see right away the impact of each other's passive skill. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with the Extreme Intelligence Perfect Cell or Perfect Form Cell. Leader skill is actually not bad for extreme intelligent types. Plus 2 key HP attack and defense, 90% increase. So, the type specific LR stats for leader skill pretty much there. So not bad, like I said, with leader skill. But the super attack will cause supreme damage and also seals the SA. And then with the passive skill, attack and defense will increase by 80%, plus an additional 100% increase to attack when the attack is against types or enemies that the enemy is stunned. Alright, so in addition to that, yes, the attacks are effective against all types when the enemy is stunned, and attack will increase by 100%. So that's pretty much the setup there, and you'll see the vice versa with the Frieza unit here in a second. Link skills, he's got Gentleman, that's plus 2 key, Brainiacs 10% to attack and defense. Shocking Speed will add plus 2 key, Ultimate Life Form plus 2 key, Nightmare 10% increase to attack, GT plus 2 key, and Shattering the Limit is plus 2 key. So maxed out, HP is 14,274. Attack is 13,170, and defense is 9,424. 12 key multiplier being 150%. And this is the featured unit, part of the banner, I'm guessing, because the other GT Cell unit is I assume one of the 4 SSRs within the story mode, to where you can actually farm the SA. So just keep that in mind, and it's certainly helpful there. Alright, so with the Extreme Physical Type GT Frieza, pretty much the same leader skill. It just, instead of extreme intelligence, it's extreme physical types. And then for the super attack, instead of chance to seal the SA, this guy has a medium chance to stun the enemy. So let's take a look at the passive skill, because it correlates between each other. He's the exact same as Cell in terms of attack and defense increase of 80%, and then plus an additional attack of 100%, and attacks effective against all types. However, in his case, that secondary passive will kick in if the enemy has their SA sealed, whereas Cell is the secondary passive activates if the enemy's stunned. All right, so that's why they work well together, and I'll talk more about that here in a second. In terms of Link skills, he's got Prodigies, that's 10% to attack. Universe's Most Malevolent, that's 15% increase to attack. Shocking Speed, plus 2 key. Strongest Clan in Space, plus 2 key. Nightmare, 10% increase to attack. GT will add plus 2 key. Shattering the Limit is also plus 2 key. So maxed out HP is at 14,396. Attack is at 13,058, and then defense is 9,302. 12 key multiplier is 150%, so pretty decent percentage there. Same thing with Cell. This can be the SA can be farmed as part of the story event version of this GT Final Form Frieza. So like I said earlier, ideally you probably want to keep them on separate rotations. That way they're always alternating with each other, and they're going to benefit from each other's ability to either seal SA or stun the enemy, right? So given a lot of the Dokkan events, in terms of like the bosses themselves, they're going to be immune to being stunned and have their SA sealed. But for those that aren't, these guys can be pretty helpful. And by having them on separate rotations, you know, let's say, for example, Cell's attacking here, right? And he's able to seal the SA. The next rotation comes up, Frieza's already going to get that benefit of, you know, attack increase of 100% because the enemy has been stunned, and vice versa. You know, in Frieza's case, if he's able to stun the enemy, next rotation Perfect Cell comes up, and he's able to get that 100% increase to attack, as well as being able to effectively attack against all types. So for this video's purpose, they are left in the same rotation, just so you see the immediate impact of that difference. I think for both the units, it looks like on average about 800,000 is the damage potential without the secondary kicking in, and then once it kicks in, you can immediately see that it goes up to like 1.5, 1.6 million. So it does make that 100% definitely makes a difference, and you know, the ability to attack against all types definitely helps out a lot too. So these are definitely pretty interesting passive skills. I haven't really seen something like this to where, you know, it's an increase attack percent increase based on the enemy status. So I kind of like that a little bit. It makes things pretty interesting, and yeah, it kind of modifies the team building a little bit. Obviously, like I said, you want to keep these guys separate in terms of their rotation, so they're always alternating with each other. But in terms of linking partners for Frieza, at least it's obvious that the Metal Cooler unit's definitely a good choice. Not only do they share a lot of link skills, but you know, Metal Cooler can also provide that 30% increase to attack, and then also plus 2 or 3 key toward extreme types. Now in the Perfect Form Cell version, in my opinion, the best linking partner for him would be the Extreme Tech Demon King Piccolo, because they do share the Nightmare link, and then Piccolo himself does have the ability to provide a key boost and also 25% increased attack. So in my opinion, that's probably the best linking buddy for the Cell unit. And obviously you can have like the Turles unit and Rose and other types of units like that, to where, you know, they're kind of floaters and they'll help out both, you know, Cell and Frieza. So, you know, if you're running a villains team, you know, once you get these guys, that's probably, you know, how you want to go about it. And let me actually check if the free-to-play versions, how their secondary passive is. So unfortunately, I just looked and they don't have that built-in system to where you know, it increases the attack output and effectiveness of attack based on, you know, the enemy status. But for the intelligent Frieza, GT Frieza, the free-to-play version, he does have a very nice passive though. Extreme types will have plus 2 key attack and defense increase of 25%, and then also reduces damage received by 30%. So that is actually a very good passive skill for a not stunned, free-to-play unit. I was already reading ahead, so I was just about to say, as part of the super attack, he does have the medium chance to stun the enemy. So, you know, if you have one or the other and you don't have, you know, one of the bannered featured units, I think the free-to-play units could certainly help out. Because they do have the same super attack ability in terms of sealing SA or stunning the enemy. But the passive skill, I actually do like the free-to-play versions. They seem to be more of a supporting role type, and they could actually help the team out quite a bit. Unfortunately, none of these guys are in a category, so that is the only problem with this. The only really benefit they'll bring is either a type-specific villains team or a, you know, Strength Rose type team setup. So that's pretty much how that is, and I'm sure you can see by now the difference it makes of having that secondary kick in, to where, you know, the attack substantially will increase based on, you know, if they get stunned or if the SA gets sealed. So that's pretty much, you know, the point of this video is to visually display you know, the substantial jump from the secondary versus just the main passive kicking in. So yeah, I mean, you're talking about, you know, anywhere from like 800,000 jumping up to potentially 1.6 million. So it definitely does make a difference. And I kind of like this formula a little bit. It switches things up a little bit, and it kind of makes you think about the rotations a little bit more too. So, and like I said, not all bosses in the Dokkan events, you know, are susceptible to being stunned or having the SA sealed. I think SA being sealed is more common than being stunned, but you know, either way, these guys could definitely do pretty well. Obviously, this is at 100% potential on a server test, but yeah, I mean, even with that, you know, maybe like 1 or 2 do pass, I'm sure they could do pretty well still. So yeah, I mean, definitely interesting units, and definitely wanted to cover it because, let's face it, I mean, the secondary units are, you know, interesting as well. I know pretty much all the interest right now is toward the full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku and the LR Meta Cooler Army, but these guys can definitely be decent units to include. And the chances of pulling these guys, I'm sure, are higher than, you know, the main featured unit, which is the Super Saiyan 4 Goku unit. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens, I guess. But these guys aren't bad. And we'll see how the pool rates themselves are. I guess in the next roughly, well, less than 24 hours. I mean, I think they open up around, I'm in the Eastern U.S. time zone, so it'll probably be around 3 or 4 in the morning later on today. So a little, you know, less than 24 hours, the banners open up, at least for the Goku. So we'll see what happens with that, and I'm sure I'll post a summoning video for it. All right, well, I'll check you guys later. Thanks for watching.